Hello and welcome back to Greg's Game Room. Now the other day I was playing a game of Pinbot and it got me wondering, are the other NES pinball games any good? So I went through them and I've come up with my top 6 list of pinball games for the NES. There's only 6 games, so let's go ahead and get started. For number 6, I'm going to go with the original black box pinball game for the NES. It's kind of your basic pinball game, there's not a whole lot to it. But I guess if you are used to, say, the Atari 2600 version of pinball, this might be pretty mind-blowing. It looks like it has a penguin theme of some kind, and there's even eggs at the bottom of the playfield. And some cards, I guess. I don't know what the idea is behind the cards. It's got your typical drop targets, got your bumpers, got your flippers, and it's got this really annoying sound thing in the middle. I don't know what it is, but it's extremely obnoxious, and it's difficult to get by sometimes. Now you have 2 static screens, the top and the bottom, and unfortunately there's no scrolling involved, so that's a bit of a knock on this game. Another knock on the game is that you can't bump the table, and that's kind of a basic thing that you should be able to do in a pinball game, in any kind of pinball game. Pinball for the NES is not the best pinball game, but I guess you had to start somewhere. I feel like this would be a collector's item simply because it is a black box game. But if you're looking for a fun pinball game, we're going to have to move on to some of the other NES offerings. Number 5 is going to be Pinball Quest, which I was originally very excited about because it looks like it has 3 pinball tables and an RPG mode. But again, it's kind of your basic pinball game. But I do like that it does have multiple screens, and as you can see, the screen actually scrolls in this one. And fortunately, there's also bumping on this particular game, so you can nudge the ball around. Now, as you can see, this one table has kind of a patriotic theme to it. I don't know what that girl is doing there in the middle, dancing on top of a jukebox, I guess. But it does have your standard bumpers and flippers, and I guess drop targets on this one would probably be more like the pins there. Now, the golf one is a little bit more interesting, I think, because looks like you're hitting the ball with a golf club. And on this one, I kept getting stuck in this water trap over here, which kind of sucks. But again, the screen scrolls, it's got your bumpers. It's a fun pinball game if it's not, it's kind of basic. But still, I like the fact that it has the 3 tables. And our last table on this cartridge is the circus one, but it's pretty much more of the same. I don't quite understand what the deal is with the flippers though. They kind of zip in here out of nowhere sometimes. Is it maybe because the NES can't handle enough sprites to do all those? I'm not really sure. And lastly, we have this quest mode, or RPG mode, that seems strangely out of place in a pinball game. I guess it's kind of nice that it gives you an option to do something else in a pinball game, but if I'm playing pinball, I would prefer to just play pinball and not, try to mix an RPG in there. Anyway, Pinball Quest is a decent game. It's better than the pinball game by Nintendo, but it still feels a little bit lacking when compared to the others. Number 4 is going to be Rollerball, and I found this game to be really fun, except it has some rather annoying music. As far as I can tell, there's only 1 table, and it looks like it's this New York table, but the cool thing is it's 4 screens high, and it does scroll, so that's pretty interesting, pretty amazing. I like the background graphics of the city and the Statue of Liberty there. It's very nice. And I would say that the physics are better in this game than the other two games, but who am I to say? I'm not really a physics major or anything. This table just seems so interesting with all the different things that's going on here. You got the little spinners, those are cool. You get up to the top here, there's a blimp, and apparently I'm supposed to either raise the saver or open the gate, but I'm not sure what either one of those do. In addition to the main pinball game, which I found to be very fun, there is this match play, and unfortunately I could only play with myself in this game, but it looks like it's elephants versus donkeys, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a political statement or what, but I'll let you decide there. It looks like it's really cool if you had a second player and you're trying to keep the ball from falling down the drain there. I guess whoever keeps the ball from falling out their drain the most wins. But that's a nice added feature to the pinball game. I think it's better than the added feature of the Pinball Quest game, which seems kind of strange. This seems a little bit more natural. Number 3 on my list is going to be Rockin Ball, and it appears to have 4 different options right here on the select screen. You can choose your basic pinball game, you can choose this casino style game, you can choose a versus game where you can either play against an opponent or play against the computer. So to the main pinball table, we do have 2 screens and they do scroll, which is very nice. It does have a little bit of annoying music, but again, if you don't like it, turn the volume down. That's pretty much your only choice when it comes to this. I like the little animation as the hand pulls back to release the plunger. That's pretty cool. Looking closely at the table, it looks like this game has some kind of a hamburger theme or a restaurant theme of some kind. You can bump the table, which is nice. And again, it does have your standard bumpers and flippers and drop targets and all that good stuff. Then we get into this casino mode, which I have no idea what's going on here, except for maybe you're supposed to get the ball to land in those targets somehow or another, and you do have to be careful when you're launching the ball. You don't want to launch it at full power or it's just going to go all the way to the end and straight down the drain. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to line up the balls in like a tic-tac-toe manner or what the heck I'm doing here. Maybe if I had the manual, I would better understand what's going on in this game. Then we get into the versus modes, where in this case you can play Bomber, Thunder, or Attack. Let's start with Bomber and see what that's all about. This is kind of a neat way of playing the game because you have your opponent on the other end. You're trying to get the ball down his drain and keep it from going down yours. Then we have the versus sports games. We got one that looks like a soccer match. And then we have a hockey game. Anyway, that's Rockin Ball, and I think this is a pretty darn good game. Number 2 is going to be High Speed by Williams, which is based on an actual pinball table. And this is when these pinball games start to get really good. I mean, the graphics are incredibly detailed. The ball physics is great. There's so much going on in the screen. You can actually bump the table. There's bonus screens. There's stuff going on everywhere. I don't know. It's to me, just look at it. It's fantastic. It looks just like an actual pinball machine. But there is this flaming thing right there in the middle that I keep throwing the ball into and it keeps taking it, so I don't know what that's all about. It scrolls to where you can see your flippers down at the bottom, but you can still see the whole rest of the table. So it's kind of cool. It allows you to see where your flippers are in relation to the ball that's about to come crashing down on you, so you can kind of get ready for it that way. And I think what you're supposed to do here is get the helicopter icons, and after you do that, I believe you get a bonus screen that you can shoot your ball into. And this bonus screen seems a little strange. It looks more like an RC Pro-Am kind of miniature game. The goal here would be to smash the opponents with your ball so it slows them down, and hopefully you will win if you slow all the other guys down. And you can also get multi-ball in this game, although I'm not really sure how I pulled it off. I think I just got lucky. But as what always happens when I'm playing pinball and I get a multi-ball, it only lasts for about 2 seconds. So that's High Speed for the NES, a fantastic pinball recreation. What could possibly be better than this? And I'm going to tell you my #1 pinball game for the NES. It's Pinbot. Of course, it has to be Pinbot. This is a super popular pinball table, so it's no surprise that it came to the NES. Now it does have multiple screens, and the screen scrolls partially like it does in High Speed, so you can still see your flippers. And of course you can bump the table to keep your ball from falling. This particular game doesn't seem to have too many bumpers, which in my opinion is nice because they just get in the way. Now the goal here is to hit all of these, I guess they're drop targets right there in the middle of the screen. And then after you get all of those, it opens up, and the goal is to get both of the balls into the slots up there at the top. And I guess those are supposed to be the Pinbot's eyes. You get both of those, and then you get multi-ball. And if during multi-ball you hit another one of those slots and then take the second ball and shoot it up the ramp around the circle, it takes you to a whole nother stage where the background graphics are different color and you get different creatures that try to attack your ball, and it's just a great pinball game. It takes what's great about the original pinball machine and adds video game elements to it. So there you have it, Pinbot, my #1 pinball game for the NES. It's a fantastic game. If you don't have it, find it. Also, you may want to look for High Speed. That is also a great game, and so is Rockin Ball. The other 3 games they're okay. They're not great, but those are the 3 pinball games that you want to get for the NES. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you stay safe, take care, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. No!